What's up, everyone? In today's video, we are going over the top 10 upcoming games of 2020. Some of them we have a lot of information, and some of them we don't, but all of them are super anticipated. I'm your host, Frost. Frost is spelled with two T's because the first T is silent, obviously. And you're watching Frosty Gaming. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash the like button, hit subscribe, and follow me on Twitch where I'm live right now. Now with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. Roll the intro. Okay, so sitting at number 10, we have Gods and Monsters. There isn't a lot known about this game, but what we do know seems pretty cool. Gods and Monsters is a game being developed by Ubisoft, the creators of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It is said to be a storybook adventure about a forgotten hero trying to save the Greek gods, which is the complete opposite to the God of War storyline, which has you trying to kill all the Greek gods. And no, God of War is by a completely different developer. I just thought you should know. Back to Gods Monsters. The game takes place on the Isle of the Blessed, which has been taken over by deadly monsters from mythology, and you are tasked to save the gods and defeat the island's leader, Typhon. And so you must explore this painted fantasy world and discover and wield the powers of the gods. Will you be the hero of Legends Foretold when Gods and Monsters releases on all platforms later this year? Number 9. Next we have another addition to the Halo series, which I have not played since I was a teenager. This one is called Halo Infinite. It is said to be the most expansive Master Chief campaign as of yet, which sounds awesome. Who doesn't love good old Master Chief? Halo Infinite is going to also be the first game, I believe, to be fully open world. And the Halo games are, of course, first-person shooters, and this one is no different. I couldn't find much information on the plot, except for that it will be much more human, with Master Chief playing a more central role, and that the enemies will be the Banished, a mercenary group that was part of the former Covenant Alien Alliance. Xbox showed off a full gameplay demo at one of their Xbox events earlier this year, but it was met with some mixed criticism. I'll leave a link to this and all other games and trailers that I mention in this video in the description below. Halo Infinite is set to release on Xbox One and Xbox Series X early 2021. Moving on to number 8, we have Dying Light 2. This is, of course, the sequel to Dying Light and is an open world, first-person survival horror action adventure role-playing game where you kill zombies. I don't think much more needs to be said than that, but the mechanics and world they're building, where decisions you make in the game actually affect the world around you, just sounds great. Couple that with the fast-paced parkour and zombie killing action from the first game, and I think we have a real winner here. Dying Light was supposed to release earlier this year for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, but was delayed, so we're hoping for an early 2021 release date instead. And with that, we are at number 7, Outriders. Outriders is a third-person shooter with RPG elements, developed by People Can Fly and published by Square Enix. The premise to Outriders is that during humanity's efforts to colonize the alien planet known as Enoch, everything went astray as the expedition team encountered a massive energy storm called the Anomaly during their search for a mysterious signal, which, quote, may indicate hope for humanity's future, end quote. The thing about this storm is that it grants both Enoch's inhabitants and now the colonists with superpowers, which sounds pretty awesome. Outriders is set to launch this holiday season on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Google Stadia. Now, at number 6, we have Super Mario 3D AllStars. Of course, this list would not be complete without a Nintendo Switch title. And what a doozy of a title this is, boys and girls. Super Mario 3D AllStars was recently announced during the Mario 35th Anniversary Nintendo Direct. This one great big little package of a game will be including the top 3 3D Mario games, in my humble opinion: Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, all remastered, HDified, and modernized for the Nintendo Switch. And I can't wait to get my hands on this title when it releases next week on September 18th. Alright, halfway there, guys. We are down to the top 5 upcoming games, and number 5 is New World. New World is going to be Amazon's try at an MMORPG, and I have to say, I have played a lot of different MMOs. As a teenager, I was addicted to Endless Online. Shout out to anybody who remembers Endless Online. And then World of Warcraft after Cataclysm came out. I've played also Secret World, which, on a quick little side note, I think they're coming out with a sequel to Secret World. I've played Perfect World, Star Wars The Old Republic, Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, and WildStar, just to name a few. And I have to say, New World has piqued my interest. It looks really good graphically, and the gameplay looks amazing. The developers said they took inspiration from Dark Souls for the combat and leveling system. This MMO has no class system. It works by leveling up your attributes and your different weapon trees. Amazon's new game, titled New World, was initially set to release this year, but has been delayed to 2021. And now at number 4, we have Watch Dogs Legion. Watch Dogs Legion, developed by Ubisoft Toronto, is a third-person action-adventure shooter with RPG elements set in a futuristic, open-world, fictionalized version of London. And no, sadly, I don't mean London, Ontario, because I'm Canadian. I'm talking Great Britain's London. Anyways, this is the third Watch Dogs game and is a sequel to Watch Dogs 2, which I absolutely loved playing. There is a lot going on for this game, but to sum it up, it's sort of a futuristic GTA game where you play as a hacker for the vigilante organization called DedSec, DEDSEC. It also stands for something, but I don't remember. But where this game differs from the first two games, and really any other game like this, is that every single NPC that you see walking around is potentially a playable character. You can recruit anyone you find out walking the streets if you can complete their criteria for them to join DedSec, and then you have the ability to play as them, which is wild. Now, the caveat to that is that each character has his own strengths and weaknesses, and some characters are just like normal people that don't have any strengths and stuff like that. Not every person is a, secret agent, but some of them might be. If any of this sounds at all interesting to you, I highly recommend checking out this game because I have not even barely scratched the surface. Watch Dogs Legion is coming out for all platforms except Nintendo, October 29th, 6 days after my birthday, actually. Okay. All right, mama. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Here at number 3 is Beyond Good and Evil 2. We don't know anything really about this game. Moving on to number 2. Just kidding. But we really don't know anything about this game. Beyond Good and Evil 2 was announced at E3 2017 and is a prequel to the critically praised and now cult classic Beyond Good and Evil. It is an action-adventure game set in an open world, which you can apparently fly into space from the planet and then fly to other planets in space, kind of like No Man's Sky, only way better. It is said to have more traditional role-playing elements than the first game. The player creates a character that starts the game from, quote, the bottom of the social system, end quote. As you complete various tasks, you improve various attributes. You gain a spaceship and crew members, which can also be improved and upgraded. You can play the game either in single player mode or in co-op mode, but you can also play single player in a shared universe where some events will affect all players. This game looks and sounds super cool, and even though it doesn't have a release date, I really couldn't make this list without it. I'll definitely be keeping my eyes and ears open for this one. Alright, so before we get to the top 2 games, I just want to take a moment for some honorable mentions. The first one being Hindsight 2020, an ARPG that lets you change past events because in this game, every decision counts. Next is Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones is a whole game based around the ship aspect of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and I just realized that there is a lot of Ubisoft games on this list. Ubisoft is really killing it. Honorable mention number 3 is Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2, a game where you play as a blood-sucking vampire. But you have a choice. Will you be a brutal killer, or will you be cultured and seductive? Use charm, cunning, terror, and sheer will as you enter the world of darkness and rise through vampire society. And last but not least, we have Demon's Souls Remake. I am an absolutely huge fangirl, not actually a girl, for the Seki Soulsborne games, and didn't get a chance to play the Demon's Souls games, so I am super hyped for this game. I would have put it on this list proper, but you'll see why I didn't in just a minute. Which brings us to the mystical, magical first and second place winners. And number 2 is Cyberpunk 2077. And now I know what you're thinking. Frost, Cyberpunk 2077 is the number 1 most anticipated game of all time. And you're probably right. It's just not my number 1 most anticipated game of all time. It's number 2. Cyberpunk 2077 is an RPG shooter brought to us lowly peons by the gods of modern gaming, the makers of the beloved Witcher 3, which I must admit, I still haven't really played CD Projekt Red. The game is based on the tabletop RPG Cyberpunk 2020 and is set in Night City, a megalopolis obsessed with power, glamour, and body modification. You play as V, a totally customizable male or female mercenary outlaw, going after a one-of-a-kind implant that is the key to immortality. The game is really truly mind-blowing. Everything from the bright yet dark and gritty cyberpunk aesthetic to the gameplay and combat. The story is very interesting, and there's a Keanu Reeves cyber ghost. Enough said, right? If this sounds fun to you, then definitely check out more, because like with most of these titles, I've just barely scratched the surface. I can't wait to play this game when it comes out on November 19th on PC, Stadia, PS4, and Xbox One. Oh, and by the way, if you buy this game for PS4 or Xbox One, you will get to upgrade to the PS5 or Series X versions for free. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Drumroll please. Number 1 is Elden Ring. Yay! Now you understand why I didn't put Demon Souls on here, eh? Now I know we don't have a lot of information on this game, which is something I've said a lot in this title, but Elden Ring is From Software's newest game. FromSoft, of course, being the developers behind all of the Seki Soulsborne games, which are some of my absolute favorite games of all time, so I had to put it on this list, and I had to make it number 1. Announced at E3 2019, Elden Ring is a dark fantasy action RPG. It is being directed by Hidetake Miyazaki, hope I'm saying that right, the same director as the other Soulsborne games, but this time the world building is being written by George R.R. Martin, the guy who wrote the books that Game of Thrones is based on. And Miyazaki considers Elden Ring to be a natural evolution to the Souls series, as the game will be much bigger and featuring an open world and new mechanics like horseback riding. So yeah, I'm extremely hyped for this game. I want it to be out now, but luckily I have Demon Souls to look forward to, hopefully later this year, because this one doesn't have a release date yet, but we are hoping for a mid-2021 release. And with all that, we have the end of the video. And now I know most people are going to say that Cyberpunk should be in the number 1 spot, but I stick by my decision. Did I mention your favorite upcoming game? Did I miss it? Did I put it in the wrong spot? Let me know down in the comments, and I will respond to all the comments. And so that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you smash the like button, hit subscribe, and follow me on Twitch, because I am live right now and you're missing out on great content. Thanks for watching. Stay frosty, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.